Good morning and welcome back to the Now Morning Show, your Monday edition, where we continue with our art exhibit series on Now in collaboration with the Art Society of Trinidad and Tobago. This morning, I'm excited to be joined by someone I know, an artist that calls herself a NeoPop Art Caribbean artist. And to tell us more about her works this morning, I'm joined by Halcian Pierre. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hal, we haven't seen each other in a while, so I am thrilled to have you on set.
I am happy to be here today.
Well, and you are certainly giving us some color and life on set, so we thank you for that. Much
you're
like
welcome, you're welcome.
I like the energy. So let's get into, first of all, what is a neo-Caribbean pop art artist?
Okay, well, NeoPop Art basically is my style. It's not your typical, say, fine art with, coconut trees,
right,
beaches, etc. I tend to focus more on people, women especially. And the pop art aspect is also an offshoot of the pop art movement,
right,
which was, made famous by Andy Warhol and Basquiat and these guys. Neopop now followed that in the 80s. And there's one other neopop artist in Brazil. His name is Romero Brito. And my style was compared to his so much. I realized, okay, wait a minute, I'm a neopop artist too. So,
discovery to each other.
Yes.
I like it. Brazil's a really well-known person for color and texture, and we see a lot of that in your work as well. So that's absolutely a good comparison.
Thank you.
Now, we have you here this week because you're displaying pieces with us that we have for the entire week. So I know that the first is Love is in the Air Part 2.
Yes, part 2.
The first part with our soul. Congratulations on that.
Thank you so much.
But walk me through a little bit of the stories behind each of the pieces. So part 2 to Love, it continues, I guess.
Yes, it does. The part 1 was actually a smaller piece. And I wanted to expand on it. After it left, I kind of developed a bond with my paintings until they're sold. They're like I tell people they're my children,
right.
So I wanted to expand on it. And there's a partly carnival vibe as well, everybody gets together and there's one love on the road,
I see it. And next we have...
Oh, this is called Forever Linked.
Okay.
And it's an interesting piece in that it actually started as a mini painting, 6 by 6 inches.
Right.
And it was done during the COVID period. I put it up online, and one of my art buddies, Sarah, she bought it. And the funny thing is, after people were seeing it online, I then got 2 requests to paint it, one in earth tones, and the other one, this is the same color scheme that the 6 by 6 had.
Right.
So this is actually the sold piece. I borrowed it for our interview today.
Okay.
Yes.
So somebody has this gorgeous piece.
Yes,
we are forever intertwined in their home. You mentioned your 6 by 6 pieces, and I saw a few of those. Actually, one of our former marketing managers, Chris Grager, had one on his desk for years.
Oh, yes.
And so do you still do those tiny pieces?
I do actually. And I find that they move pretty well when it comes to doing markets.
Right.
So I enter a lot of craft markets, and so it's a way, well, it's part of the, the art hustle, how it goes.
Okay.
Sometimes, and then too, people can't always afford a large piece.
Right.
So it's easier to have a mini painting of something that you love.
Affordable art.
Yeah.
Continuing with the theme, I see more ladies, but this one's different in terms of the tones and the outlines and that sort. What are we looking
this one, she's called Standing in Her Power. And this was for a themed show that the Art Society had called Minimalism. So I took it to heart and pulled back my color palette a bit. And I used literally the minimum of colors. So you're seeing earth tones, black and white. And I really love the effects I got here. And people were like, oh my gosh, this is Halcian, but it's not the usual Halcian that I've seen, So I said, okay, I did something good.
But you continue to do great things, much like this piece that I think is so perfect for any card lover, but non-card lovers as well. I like how you merged themes. So what are we looking at?
All right, so this one is called Tribute to a Queen. And I love Queen Nefertiti. I love the whole Egyptian, African aspect, and women were such badasses back then, you know. And she was yes, we are. And she is such a beauty. And this is actually my first painting I did for 2023. Okay. And as usual, I put it up online, and it so happened that it got chosen for a show at the Rotunda Emancipation as well.
Nice.
So I was really, really happy for that.
I love how Hal is like giggly and bubbly about the pieces being chosen, as if you are not accomplished in so many facets of your career already. We have pieces in the Rotunda. We have other exhibits that are ongoing right now featuring your work as well. So where can we find you?
Okay, well, right now I have a piece at Mill Fleur. It's a painting of the late Ken Professor Fillmore, and that was included in their World Steel Pan Day exhibit. And I was tickled pink, as always, to be chosen. I mean, I know I'm known for doing women, but when I paint a guy, it's a huge deal.
It is. It absolutely is.
And I am a lover of Fawn Claire, and even my late mom was from South, and you know, it's a love. So I had to honor him.
Well, speaking of special, your specialty technically was in the realm of media, even voice work.
Yes.
Doing editing and things of that sort. Does that play in any way into your actual art now?
In a small way. Sometimes I get influenced through music. I've created art after hearing, say, a calypso, a soca tune.
Right.
Other times, not so much, but my influences vary. I could create a painting sometimes off of seeing a pattern that someone's wearing crossing the street, you know, or I might see a group of kids playing and I'll be like, hey, that'll make a good piece.
So then it's safe to say the departure is complete. We are fully into the artist phase.
Yes, full-time
and we will
artist.
be looking at more works of that sort rather than the editing or even the voice work.
Well, the voice work, oddly enough, I still do voice work, and I actually voiced a few characters on Lexo TV. I know that the puppets at Santana. I am looking at Leroy's mother's voice right here.
Look at you. No, I'm glad that you mentioned it, because I know you also did a bit of cartooning as well in terms of actual artwork.
Yes.
And so I'm wondering if that means we'll see that homogenization of the two talents.
Oh, yes. And it's so funny. It's actually cartoons that got me into media, oddly enough. That was my doorway. I used to do a cartoon called User True Trini If ... And I'd list things that made us, you know, a little idiosyncrasies and stuff. One cartoon in particular I remember is a true Trini if you bring food home from a party. And who hasn't done that?
You're right. You're right. A party, a wedding, a fete.
Exactly.
Smart, yes. And in that case, when you lend your voice to it, your visuals to it, it gives us great joy, and we thank you for that so much.
You are truly welcome.
Anybody wanting to get in touch with you, how can they find you?
Okay, well, I'm online. I'm on Instagram at Art by Halcian. And for paintings that are on sale, I have a second Instagram page called Halcian Style. Right? And I'm also on Facebook as Halcian. Right? So that's my regular profile. If you want to say hi, just come on down.
Drop your wave.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for joining us this morning, Halcian. Thank you for lending us your art, rather. That's going to be with us on display all week this week for the Now Morning Show, giving us some color and some NeoPop Caribbean art to make sure that our week stays bright. Halcian Pierre joined us this morning on the Now Morning Show, and you can enjoy the beautiful works by checking her out online and right here on the Now Morning Show when we return after the break. Beautiful stuff, Hal.